everybody's questions right now is what happened to Inuyasha and Kagome? Why are these 3 girls by themselves? 2 of them we know from all the promo stuff and whatnot that they're Sesshomaru's daughters, and one of them is Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter, Miroha, and she's been by herself for a long time. So what happened to Inuyasha and Kagome? Okay, people, the highly anticipated sequel spin-off anime to Inuyasha, Yashahime Princess Half Demon episode 1 has finally arrived, and I'll be honest with you, it was kind of like, yeah, it's here, but it also felt like a nostalgia blast, and also, while it's a spin-off, it did feel for a good moment, a good chunk of this first episode at the very least, like a sequel, because we got a lot of Inuyasha, Sango, Kagome, Miroku, like we got a lot of them in this episode, and then the new cast was sprinkled in the beginning and the end of the episode, the new children and shit like that. But man, I can't believe it, 2020, the feudal fairy tale continues with Inuyasha's sequel anime. But how does it fare? Is it good? Is it something worth your time? Well, episode 1 is somewhat of an indicator on either or, and we're going to talk about that, mate. We got Inuyasha spin-off sequel. Why am I talking with a fucked up British accent? Let's talk some Inuyasha sequel, people, and yeah, where does it stand?
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be, though.
Okay, people, so I was highly anticipating this one just to see where it goes. Like, I've been talking about it. If you follow my podcast, the ForneverWorld podcast, I joke with my co-host, Shintai Reviews, quite frequently about Inuyasha and what the sequel could be. Some of my expectations was like, hey, it could be really, really dope because it's been very foreboding, and it's kind of like, based on some of the information we got, what happened to the main cast, where are they, what happened, but it could also go very bad. This could go like a Girl Meets World, where it's kind of like using the name Inuyasha, but it really doesn't feel like that, and the characters that we love and care about aren't really involved. So it was a toss-up of what this could be. And to be honest with you, the first episode, it doesn't really give a clear indication about any of that, because we start off the beginning of the episode, one of the characters, which I'm a little bit sloppy with the names right now, so forgive me as time goes on, and I'm not sure if I'll review this weekly, to be honest with you, but I'll give update from time to time. One of the main characters, the new main characters, the short-haired female, is tied up, and there's questions about history and stuff like that, because they found like a pamphlet, the people that have her tied up, and I think one of the characters that had her tied up was somebody from the original series. I'm not really sure, I can't confirm that, whatever, but we start off there, and it kind of gives us a flashback of Inuyasha, but this flashback is basically sequel-esque, because it basically showcases 6 months after the end of Inuyasha. At that particular point, Kagome and Inuyasha are together, Inuyasha and Miroku are going on missions and journeys to, slay demons and shit like that. So it does serve, and to be honest with you, I feel as though that was a way to hook people and to get people interested, which, again, I don't know if that's telling of the content ahead, because it's like, hey, that was a huge piece of the episode. It was like small piece of the new cast of characters. Well, one of them here, a huge chunk of, hey, this is what happened 6 months after Inuyasha ended, and then a small chunk of the new cast of characters with Miroha. I do remember that one. That's Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter, and the other chick, and what's going on there. So a lot of the episode was comprised of what happened after Inuyasha ended. And it's crazy because, well, for starters, we get the relationships, Sango and Miroku. They have children at this particular point. Miroku really is kind of, I want to say, useless to a certain degree battle-wise, because he doesn't have his hole in his hand anymore to suck shit up, so he's kind of just like there. He's just a perverted monk with a family now. And Inuyasha's still slaying demons and shit like that, which, to be honest with you, I thought with this feudal fairy tale, like a lot of what I expected after Inuyasha ended, I always in my mind had like, well, they live happily ever after. There's no more fighting, there's no more chaos or anything. It's just like Inuyasha and Kagome hugging each other and staring into each other's eyes and continuously repeating each other's names, like Inuyasha, Kagome, Inuyasha, Kagome, for like the rest of eternity. Like, that's what I had in my mind. So the fact that there's still problems and issues in this world, it's like, okay. It was interesting to see Kaede there, and it seems as though they're once again bringing forth an issue regarding Kikyo, and it seems as though Kikyo is going to be a pivotal factor of this whole entire series, or at the very least something to do with her, because they had a problem with this plant thing that long ago Kikyo was able to seal with one of her arrows, and it seems as though Kikyo is still to this day an issue, because using those arrows, and I'm gonna just throw it out right here, like instead of, you know, wasting your time, I think there's a huge possibility of what happened, because everybody's questions right now is what happened to Inuyasha and Kagome. Why are these three girls by themselves? Two of them we know from all the promo stuff and whatnot that they're Sesshomaru's daughters, and one of them is Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter, Miroha, and she's been by herself for a long time. So what happened to Inuyasha and Kagome? We seen that they had that problem with that plant or that tree. Kaede shot at it. They eventually were able to stop it. And also hilarious that hell have no fury like a woman scorned, because she's still like, there's still that imbalance right there where Kagome's like, oh, if it was Kikyo, you would have let her go and fight and shit like that. So there's still that dynamic there or whatever. But what happened to them? I truly think that Kikyo seed that they were talking about probably imprisoned Kagome to that tree that Inuyasha was stuck to all those years. I think possibly for years she's been that way, because Miroha's been on her own for years, and possibly Inuyasha's been stuck there with her, or something along the lines of that, why he isn't raising his daughter while her mother is messed up and stuck to a tree. That's what I think. I think it has to do with Kikyo. I don't know if it's her soul, if she's going to be involved in any of this anymore, because just keeping it real, what involvement would Kikyo have with her, you know, former lover's child? I mean, I guess there's something there, but like, that's Kagome's daughter. This is now a new adventure. So Kikyo, like, yeah, the plant situation, I guess, has some involvement, but let's just be thankful that so far, we don't have any Naraku involvement, which who the fuck knows? Because if Naraku shows up again, I am going to explode like, oh, I've survived, and now I gotta get stronger because I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of these three little ones. Like, no, please, no more Naraku. Like, they already seemingly are bringing Kikyo into the mix, and we only episode 1, which again, I think that's what happened to Inuyasha, Kagome, and them. I'm not sure what is happening, because one of the plot points of the story is the fact that one of the two sisters doesn't have her memories, and they're trying to figure out what happened, and there's something to do with the well as well, you know, the well that brings them back and forth between time periods and shit like that. So there's a lot of questions there. I don't think it's all completely due to this Kikyo tree or this Kikyo seed and all of that shit. So I don't think it's completely Kikyo, but I do think Kikyo is possibly the reason why Kagome, which it's like, yo, oh my god, I gotta do a quick rant. If it is to do with Kikyo, and again, it might not be her will or whatever, but I gotta say, yo, bitch, you lost. That's it. Your relationship with Inuyasha is over. Stop already. Stop cock blocking Kagome and Inuyasha's happiness with your fucking tree, you old bitch. Oh, that felt so good. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Kikyo, but goddamn, like, she's still problematic in 2020. Talk about a fucking bitch that's hell have no fury, like a woman scorned. Like, yeah, Kagome might still be a little salty about shit, but god damn, Kikyo, fucking just sit there and stop already. Because if that is the case, that is really messed up, that as much as she loved Inuyasha and shit like that, she still would technically be responsible for why Inuyasha's daughter isn't around her parents and didn't grow up a decent, good life and shit like that, which would be horrible. But we gotta wait and see. Again, it's funny because majority of the episode was more Inuyasha. It seems as though episode 2 of Yashahime is going to be more regarding the story of what we have with these characters. Like, we didn't really get much of them other than the beginning and the end. Everything else was Inuyasha. But as it stands right now, my interest more so lies with that stuff. I'm not invested at all, just being honest, with the small amount of time that we got with the new characters. I gotta wait and see. Episodes 2 and 3 are going to be more pivotal to whether or not I could really rock with this, because again, it's 3 young girls. I'm a late 20s man, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to really, I can't get jiggy with this shit, so we gotta wait and see. It was funny and nostalgic to see stuff like Sesshomaru in the flashback, and Jockin, which I have Jockin jokes for days. Lord Sesshomaru! So yeah, based on episode 1, if you want a nostalgia trip, I recommend watching it. If you want to see a little bit of what happened after Inuyasha ended with Inuyasha and Kagome and Sango and Moroku, watch it. Episode 2 and 3 is going to be whether or not, like, the deciding factor of should you continue on with this anime and is it good. But I'm curious, if you've seen Yashahime Princess Half Demon episode 1, how do you feel about it? What did you think about the new characters so far? Again, we spent so little time with them, so it's hard to really dive into like, oh, this character's dope. I mean, And one of the sisters reminded me of Sesshomaru, so that was kind of cool. And then one of the Moroha, I just like her in general because it's like, hey, that's little female Inuyasha, cool shit. What do you think about 6 months after the, Inuyasha series ended, being able to see the characters again? Do you think that it's Kikyo and this tree seed shit that is stopping or has stopped Kagome and Inuyasha from being with their daughter all these years? Maybe Kagome is tied to a tree or stuck into a tree because of Kikyo. And your thoughts and expectations for this series moving forward. Again, please no Naraku. I feel like Naraku will show up at some given point and oh god, no. Like, or if Naraku is responsible for this shit, like this was his one final fuck you to Inuyasha and Kagome, oh my god, like, no, please, no, Naraku, no. This is gonna be fun. At the very least, even if episodes 2 and 3, like the characters and the story isn't the grandest shit, it's gonna be fun. However, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yeah, the feudal fairy tale continues. Yashahime, princess half demon. Kikyo, you old bitch. It better not be your fault. Naraku, you too. Have an awesome day.
It's nights like this and times like this. What's that?